Welcome! Venus retrograde is happening in 2015 from July 25th through September 8th. There are a few weeks before that and a few weeks after that where Venus is going to be in shadow period. So we may see some similarities, some things starting, rising, finishing up in that shadow period as well. Therefore, this reading may extend on to its shadow period. I wanted to do this little introduction to say a little bit about what Venus retrograde is. First of all, Venus is the planet that governs over beauty, values, love. And so when it is going retrograde, it is going through a revisal phase. It's moving backwards, it's reevaluating things, changing things around, tweaking things from the past and our current situation to make it better for the next cycle when Venus goes direct. So I will be talking in this reading about those areas specifically: money, self-value, self-worth, values, and love, as well as beauty. I want to recommend for anyone who has their birth chart and knows their moon and Venus sign that you choose the video of your moon sign and the one of your Venus sign to listen to. But if you don't have that information, or you just don't want to and you'd rather listen to your sun sign, go for it, go ahead. Depending on how deep you want to go, how much information you want from the readings, you could listen to the moon sign video, the one for your rising sign, as well as Venus and the sun. It just depends on how much you want, how much time you want to spend, and how much you want to hear, because I think there are going to be bits of information for you in all of those. Alright, so thanks for listening to the introduction. Here we go. Hi Aquarius! So something odd happened to me when I decided to do these readings the same day, I think it was. For some reason, I just kept getting Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius popping into my head. So I don't know what that means, but Spirit is kind of putting an asterisk Aquarius note in my head. So I don't know if that's it's important, pay attention, or I have no idea. I just thought I'd share with you though. So I'm going to first do a quick overview look of Venus retrograde 2015 for you. And then I'm going to get into more detail, and I'm going to do 2 cards for money, 2 cards for love, 2 cards for values, 2 cards for self-value, which is self-esteem, self-worth, etc., and 2 cards for beauty. And then after that, I'm going to pull an additional 2 cards from a different deck, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. Alright, here we go. Okay. You have receptivity, patience, and inner voice, which is a major arcana card coming up. So what I'm seeing here is that a theme for a lot of you is going to be about learning to go within and be more receptive to others and what others are saying to you, but also to spirit, to intuitive hits and things, spirit guides potentially who are trying to get through to you, listening to your own inner voice, and having patience with yourself and the whole process, everything that's going on. cultivating patience. And this also may be, patience with your spiritual growth as well. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the more specifics. We have money, love, values, self-worth, self-value, and beauty. Okay. Money, you have Beyond Illusion, which is 20 of Major Arcana, and Possibilities. With the Major Arcana card, this is about the big picture, big schemes, big changes, changing things that have been in place for a while. I'm feeling like this is very apt to be about the way you view money and your opportunities in life in relation to acquiring money, and how you're allowed to spend it, perhaps for some of you as well. I think for some of you, this is going to be a very enlightening time of being able to see deeper into deeper truths, things that you didn't realize before. Beyond Illusion can also be about, how you shape your dreams, your visions, your aspirations, your goals, okay, and bringing them into reality. But I think for a lot of you, the opportunities, lessons, challenges, experiences that are going to be happening right now during Venus retrograde in relation to money and work are going to be about you realizing what opportunities are there that you didn't realize were there, or that you didn't believe were accessible to you. And also taking a more spiritual look at money. It's energy like everything else. So going a little deeper there, perhaps finding some ways out, some possibilities, some ways out of places where you felt stuck and where you felt like you weren't able or it wasn't possible to get through things, to do things. For some of you, this might be, like big money, like you want a lot of money for something, what you conceive of as a lot of money for a house or to start your own business, things like that, and you just felt like it's just not possible. I'm not able to do that. It's just not possible for me in this lifetime. And it's about opening up and realizing that anything is possible. And maybe some things about changing your thought process, your thought patterns, and your beliefs to align with that would be recommended. I'm seeing, look around. Venus retrograde isn't generally a time where it's recommended to make big decisions in relation to any of these areas that we're covering here, including money. So what I'm seeing here is it's probably a good time for some of you to be doing some list making, some brainstorming, and some investigating about possibilities, ways that you can acquire money or get that money, and letting go of whether it's logical or likely or not. Just write it down anyway. Don't worry about Don't worry about that right now. This also, for some of you, might be about like jobs. If you're discontent at your job, your place of work, what other possibilities are available to you in alignment with your deepest dreams. Okay. With love, you have the Dream card, and you have the Fighting card. Kind of heavy energy. The Dream card is a card speaking of something that we've all been programmed to look for, to believe in, to desire to an extent that is actually an illusion. This is the story of woman in distress, okay, and Prince Charming or Knight in Shining Armor comes along and makes everything all better, and they live happily ever after. And this woman here there's a sense of sadness, of longing, and this is her dream. This is what she's longing for, what she wants. And it might be that you've been fighting either internal or externally to get this, or to be this, if you're a man, to live up to that, to be the Knight in Shining Armor, Prince Charming, who makes everything all better in a relationship. Excuse me. Like I said, this is an illusion. There's no happily ever after, because life has its ups and downs, okay? And there's a message with this to learn to love yourself, to learn to be content and happy on your own, without looking outside of you for another person to fix your unhappiness. It's about liberating yourself, loving yourself, and making yourself happy and content. And so I think some stuff, again, experiences, lessons, opportunities, challenges are apt to pop up to help you work through this stuff during this phase. And that this message is coming to you so that you can be proactive with this as well. The Fighting card, this man is holding a lot of tension. He's trying really hard to protect himself in this armor, and it's constantly about winning the battle. So it might also be, for some people, about their barriers that they've set up, how they're trying to protect themselves in ways that aren't healthy, that are a waste of energy, that are actually keeping away the love that you want. And how you may be being aggressive and not realizing it. You might be scaring people off in some way. And there's also a message in here about not having to be right all the time. Sometimes it's not about right and wrong or getting your way, winning something. It's about, well, I guess you're gonna have to find out what it's about, really. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a very vulnerable person, very misled, misguided, hurt person here, who is trying to compensate for that and hide that from the world, protect themselves by having all of this armor, these walls up, having this aggressive attitude and going in and fighting. And I think those are the things that are asking to be revised, updated, worked on, so that your relationships your relationship to yourself first, of course, and love for yourself first, and then for partners can be allowed to evolve from this. So regardless of whether you're single or in a relationship, what I'm seeing is, idolization of a fantasy. It's asking to be addressed, and this stuff as well to be addressed. Okay, and next we have values, and for values, the intensity card came up, and along with that, adventure. This is very interesting. What I'm hearing is, for some of you, there's a message here, not all of you, but for some of you, there's a message here about you might be clinging too hard to a belief or to some beliefs about right and wrong, things that you think are your values that really aren't anymore, and acting kind of childish. But there's much more to these cards, and a part of what I'm seeing here is that during this phase, having more of a childlike wonder, curiosity about things, and allowing yourself to be adventurous, to go check things out, to be playful, have fun, and embrace that childlike wonder is going to help you to reassess what your current values are, to let go of stuff that's really not your values anymore. Sometimes what happens is we have values in place, and over time they change, and they've changed in our hearts, but they haven't changed in our awareness yet. Our conscious mind hasn't realized that it's shifted, and so we're like grasping onto something that's not actually a true value to us, and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't hold the same importance as it used to. So I'm thinking it's a good time to relax and to embrace this, to do this, to be a little bit adventurous, playful, have fun, get in touch with your inner child, to help you figure this stuff out, reassessing, getting in alignment with it. And the intensity card, to really allow yourself to have intense joy and really go for it, to really be present in your adventure. It also, because this is a child on this card, it may be asking you to do some inner child work, and I'll post a link below for a great video to check out on that topic. But it may be asking you to do some inner child work and ask, what were you taught when you were a child? What were you taught are priorities? What were you taught to have as values, and that you've just adopted but aren't actually yours? For them to be yours, you have to have thought through them, kept an open mind to being wrong about it, and really felt it in your heart that it's true. Okay, because it looks like maybe there's like an intensity here that needs to be mellowed out, because it's not the heart intensity. It's an intensity coming from ego. But like I was saying, inner child work, what were you taught as a child? And going back and talking to your inner child, seeing what your inner child needs and wants right now, comforting the inner child, maybe letting it be and express itself, going on adventures and so forth. Once you get it figured out what your values are, and don't be afraid to live in alignment with your values, even if that means bringing some intensity to the table sometimes. All right. Self-value, self-worth. You have the traveling card, and you have the rebel card. And a message that's coming to me right away with this is that for a good number of you, it's time for you to go on a spiritual journey of some sort. This could mean actually traveling somewhere, and that by doing that, it could be that there's some, like your partner doesn't want you to, but you want to. There's some sort of situation where if you do this, you're going to be rebelling against someone or something. Okay, so for some of you, this is going to be an actual place that you journey to. But for some of you, this is going to be spiritual. Going on a spiritual journey. And the aspect of the rebel is coming out. So it's going to be, are you not rebelling enough to be living from your, it's about living from your heart. So are you not rebelling enough against things that aren't in alignment with your heart, or the wants and desires of others that they're putting on you? Or it's going to be, are you rebelling too much? Are you rebelling just for shallow reasons? Are you rebelling because you don't want others to control you, out of fear? So you're just going off and doing things just because it's different. It's about exploring and finding out what's going on there with your rebellion. Whether you need to rebel more or less, like I said, it's just about your heart, but I think it's about liberation in one way or another. However this plays out for you, I think it's about liberation, finding some more liberation, and that's going to make you feel more self-respect, more value for life, and value yourself more, I think. And for some people, some people have been placing their concept of their self-value, they have been judging it based on some shallow things, such as how well they can do independent of the status quo. So as a rebel, how well they can provide for themselves, succeed, etc., while being a rebel. And that's applied, an artificial type thing. And for some people, it's going to be, how many places they've traveled. Okay? These are shallow things because they're conditional. And that's placing your self-worth and what you think that your value is. It's saying that it's based on some sort of conditions. And ultimately, what's healthiest for us is to love ourselves unconditionally, and to recognize that we have, our value is not dependent on some circumstance, that we are valuable regardless. All right. So beauty, you have the awareness card, which is another major arcana card, and you have 7 of fire, stress. So I think what's going to make a lot of you feel more beautiful and see more beauty in life, in your surroundings, is coming to an awareness, which I'm feeling like the seed of this, it's already started. You've already started to, like, the veil has already started to open. Okay? Coming to an awareness about how you're unnecessarily stressing yourself out, or how you're taking on things that you don't need to take on that are burdening you with stress, and how you can take better care of yourself by allowing yourself to relax more, de-stress more, and make choices that cause you less stress, relieving the stress. Alright, for some of you, I have to touch on this. When it comes to doing things to beautify your environment, your home, your car, your office, things that you own, your body, your image, making changes to your physical appearance. Venus retrograde is not said to be the best time to make changes that are going to be permanent or are really hard to reverse, because we're looking at things differently during this time. The energies are very different than they are the rest of the time, and it may be that you're sure about a change now, you go and you make that change, and once the energies shift and become direct again, if not before then, you're gonna hate it and really regret it and be stuck with it. So it's not recommended if you have long hair to go and chop your hair real short. Not recommended to spend all of your savings on paint, to paint the interior of your house a new color that you've just decided on. Things of that nature. Tattoos, or getting tattoos, pretty big no-no during Venus retrograde. That being said, what I'm sensing from these cards is that you're changing. You're gaining a new awareness about yourself, about life, and it's kind of like a metamorphosis, like a caterpillar coming out of a cocoon as a butterfly type of thing. And some of what is in your environment right now might be, from the past and outdated, and causing some stress and ready to be changed. So if you are feeling that that's true in some way, if you're feeling like you're ready for some sort of change, and you want to bring more beauty into your environment or your appearance, you want to change something to make you feel more beautiful, to be more in alignment with what you are going through right now, the way you're feeling now, and the changes you're going through, I would say definitely go for it. Go from your heart, your soul, your feelings, what feels good. Go towards that. But I would say don't spend all of your money. Don't spend more than you can afford to spend. Keep in mind what I said about Venus retrograde, and stick with things that if you don't like them later on, you can just change it and it's not a big deal. So rearranging furniture, maybe buying a few items if that's in your budget to decorate with and bring that energy in. Maybe getting a henna tattoo, or buying some vegan makeup if you don't wear makeup and you want to. I hate to tell people to wear makeup, so against it. Those kinds of things. Try styling your hair different. Things that are easily reversible. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the cards from the other deck. This deck is the White Eagle Medicine Wheel deck, and within it, the cards are mostly animal totems, and there's also father message cards and grandmother message cards, the guidance cards, wisdom cards, as they all are. And then there's like 3 or 4 other totems. And the message I've been giving everyone that you get as well is, with these cards, the 2 cards that come up for you, these are offering themselves up to be of assistance to you during Venus retrograde. And so it doesn't have to stop with this reading if you want to go deeper. It's especially easy with the animal totems. You can do different things to work with these animals throughout Venus retrograde, because, like I said, they want to be helpers if you want to have them, if you want them in your sphere, in your world, to do that. So just some suggestions, things you can do. You can get images of these animals. You can print something offline, get it offline, download something, whatever, make it your screensaver. Research the animals, see if anything pops up at you as a message. Knickknacks, etc., body jewelry, to keep them close to you. You can do meditations, like animal spirit guide meditations, and intentionally bring in these animals, see if they have any messages for you, if they work with you in some way. All kinds of things that you can do. Alright, there you go. Okay, cool. So you have Bear and Sweat Lodge. Sweat Lodge is one of those 3 or 4 I was talking about. So for these, I'm just going to read right out of the booklet. Bear. If Bear lumbers your way, Bear is telling you that you have the gift of insight and the ability to access your dreams and visions, provided you give yourself moments of meditation and quiet to discover them. You may have the gift of healing. This can come in many ways, but make sure you work on your own healing too. Remember, balance activity with rest. Okay, now we have Sweat Lodge. Sweat Lodge. Cleansing, healing, renewal. Choosing the Sweat Lodge card represents cleansing at the deepest levels. It means no longer living life from a focus of ego and separation. As minute cells in a vast organism, we serve ourselves best by ensuring the health of the whole. Look for ancient blocks, resentments, conditioning, regrets, negativity, and depression, limiting ideas of yourself and your potential. Commit yourself to discover and to work through those elements that are life-denying rather than life-enhancing. Alternatively, the card could be saying that at this level, you are now able to help others clear themselves of negativity. Very powerful, very cool. I love how it's leading into the first spread. Alright, thanks Aquarius.